Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll try to do my presentation in relation to our experience, the RENU experience. And I'll just try to share everything based on the experience and how we've been able to come up with some new techniques or strategies that we're employing here. So we'll just talk about something small about RENU so that it's important that we have a bit of context and background. And then we'll just try to look at the environment in which we're operating in, the people that we're working with alongside, and learn those that we perceive as a competition because they can be in position to engage our members. Then we'll also discuss something small about our business development team, the different services we offer, the people that we segment, and I'll speak slightly about EDURUM as well. Then we'll also look at the different strategies, and then look at the how we'll be able to leverage the digital platforms, the challenges and opportunities, and all this will be based on the experience we have had as RENU. Okay, this is just a bit of an illustration. We recently had a team from the Internet Society, and we're a little intrigued about their theme, which is Internet is for everyone, which ideally is one of the key services, just like Ashin has just described, one of the key services that we provide to our members. So I'll just run through a bit about RENU, so it gives a bit of context. RENU's story started in 2006, and this story was brought together when the vice chancellors of different universities and the CEOs of different research institutions came together, which brought about the birth of RENU. So when the vice chancellors came together, the initial challenge at that point was the reliable and affordable connectivity. As you can imagine, back then in 2006, and especially for a landlocked country like Uganda, that was the most critical challenge at the time. However, connectivity was just a means to an end, not the end in itself. So what was the end for the people that started the organization? For them, they're looking at access to resources, improved methods, and improved collaboration at the time, which they believed eventually should be in position to lead to high quality education and research. So over the years, our membership has grown. As you can see, from 2020, our membership was just about 139 institutions. Today, we are by the end of 2023, we had about 268 institutions. Try to bring a breakdown of the institutions, as you can see down there. And then just a bit of illustration. Today, we have about 628 sites connected. So the members, as we had said, about 200, but the 628 means that the different sites, for example, if we have Makerere University, and then they have different other sites at different locations. So today, as RENU, we have a total of 628. And there's a breakdown for the different one. The research institutions, we have about 301. The tertiary institutions, about 35. And the schools, about 46. Hospitals, about 7. So, despite the fact that we've had, more institutions that have coming in, but when you look at this particular graph, it shows that we still have a gap as RENU. We feel like there's a gap, particularly this was brought in. This was shared by the National Council for Higher Education, the body that is responsible for the higher institutions. So if you looked at it based on the report they shared, we still have a gap, particularly with if you looked in, the blue represents the total number of institutions that are available in research and education, and then the green represents the institutions that are today connected under RENU. So in essence, we still have a gap, particularly with the tertiary institutions. We still have a big gap also with the schools. We've done a good job with the public institutions, but there's still a lot to be covered. So this just illustrates a bit of the stakeholders, the environment in which RENU operates. As I mentioned earlier, the universities and the research institutions are very important stakeholders to RENU. And then on the left is the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology, the regulator, that is Uganda, that is UCC. Then we have the schools, Ministry of Education and Sports, and then the other tertiary institutions. So this is just a bit of the microenvironment in which we're operating in. As RENU, we don't operate as an island. As I mentioned earlier on, that Uganda being a landlocked country, it means that we have quite of limitations. So we have different partners that we work with, and most of these are people that are actually providing similar services as us. So we opted that rather than competing with them, it's better that we can be in position to work with them so that we can improve the education and research community in Uganda. So this brings down to the team internally. The business development team was started at RENU last year in 2023. This was a bit of a unique thing, considering the organization started in 2006, and over the years, it was operating without a business development team, but there were very valid reasons why this team was put in place. One, as much as Ashina in earlier presentation said that NRENs do not market or promote their products, the case in Uganda is a little different. The NRENs usually have a wide options they can be in position to get their services. And so looking at RENU alone may not be the most ideal thing. So the team was formed specifically to try and create or bring more revenue generating streams or sources to the organization. And by doing this, or rather for them to do this, they had to be in position to do a little prospecting and lead generation, have as many customer engagements. And then when they visit the customers, they're able to demonstrate the products that they share and then present to them, get as much feedback and insights in the field. That includes market intelligence, and follow up and essentially try to see that they onboard as many research institutions, as many schools, and even the pending private universities that are not on board also joined in. So this is just a bit of a graph that shows the different services and products today that RENU is able to sell to their members. Like I mentioned earlier, connectivity was one of the critical things that brought the start of RENU. But connectivity is more like the bedrock, the foundation. And so other services have been able to be laid onto that foundation. And that includes cloud services, domain and hosting registration, EduVPN, collocation, to mention but a few. So when the business development team goes out there, so we have targeted people or segments that we always want to engage. And in most cases, these are considered the key decision-making units of every organization. And depending on the organization that we visit, we have vice chancellors for universities, we have research institution EDs, specifically to research institutions. And then we also have ICT directors that are critical, make decisions. And most times these are for research institutions and even in universities. We have CEOs for different, maybe hospitals, and certainly the students as well. So just a bit of introducing NREN, EduRoam. As we are all aware, it's an education roaming service for the research and education community. But I want to bring it a bit of perspective to show how the numbers have grown in Uganda. As you can see, from the start of 2016, we only had one institution that was using EduRoam. But over the years, fast tracking it to 2023, we have now 195 institutions that currently are using EduRoam. And for us as an NREN in Uganda, it's very critical because this is EduRoam is a differentiating factor for the services we offer if you compare it with the commercial service providers. So over the years, we've also been in position to bring in more innovation in trying to dispense this service called EduRoam. So we have today about 4 flavors in which we're able to push this product. So initially, we had only EduRoam on campus, and this was where the students or the staff were able to access the service only at the premises or within the institutions they operate in or the ones they visit. However, we realized especially during COVID, it made us realize that these institutions didn't actually spend time within their institutions. So most of them are either out in different, maybe hospitals, they're out maybe in the community, maybe cafes. And so we introduced something called Metro Eduroam. I'll speak much more about it in the later slides. But Metro Eduroam is same as Eduroam, but we decided to pull it and put it in the metro, in the cities, not just within Kampala, but also across the other cities across Uganda. And so, as much as we were able to bring that service closer, we realized there were some staff, students, or even researchers that are always on the move. And most times they're moving from one campus to another, yet they have to continue working. And so we introduced also Eduroam on the go. It's a portable MiFi device that broadcasts on Eduroam. And so if a staff or a student has left the institution they're operating, they are able to continue to access the service wherever they go. And that was not enough. We realized that particularly during COVID, there are lessons that we learned, especially once institutions were closed, lectures continued going on, but staff were not able to access the service. And so we introduced another product, which is the HomeLink Eduroam, where we were able to install the service right at the premises of the staff, and even for those students that need it. So this graph just illustrates a bit of the growth of all the 4 flavors. The yellow indicates the home links, the growth through the quarters, and the dark green introduced shows the Eduroam on the go, how it has grown over the years, rather how it grew through 2023 through the quarters. And then the dark blue just shows the Eduroam on campus, and then the Metro Eduroam. And I wanted to pay attention mostly on the Metro Eduroam, on the numbers and how it has been able to grow. I'll just show you this in the coming slides. This is just a bit of an illustration of us trying to mobilize and put more activations, have many people signed up for Eduroam within the campus premises. So this is just a bit of the service that I had earlier on hinted on, Eduroam on the go. Very portable MiFi service that has been able to create a bit of difference for us as an NREN, especially to the people that we market and sell our services to. So as you can see, the graphs showing the growth of this particular service over the years. This is from 2022 July to January this year. December 2023, we saw a big growth, but we are optimistic that January will also be able to show the bigger numbers. So this is just a bit of the map, a coverage map showing where we have been able to deploy a Metro Eduroam. And our plan is to see that we have about 3,000 hotspots deployed across the country in the next coming few years. Today, we have already deployed over 300 within Kampala alone. So this shows just a bit of the successful logins that have been in position to access, to log in onto Eduroam, and then to give us the zeal that if people are actually using the service, that means that there's need for it, and then we have to push it even harder. However, in our attempt to try and push it harder, of course, we have been able to have a bit of limitations and challenges. As you can see, in December 2022, the numbers are dropped despite the fact that we were growing in number. The number dropped. So maybe the question would be, why? What happened? Why the numbers dropped? So at that point, we were mostly using different service providers to help us, push the product to the end users. But over time, they felt like maybe it was cannibalizing their own product, especially to considering that some of the members that they were serving were actually maybe their clients. And so it gave us time to think and see how we can be in position to achieve our goal without dropping the quality. And so we introduced the solar-powered access point. The solar-powered access points ideally we're trying to see that we deploy these all across the hotspots that we believe that students, lecturers, or any other member within the RENU membership can be in position to access. I believe this is a very good service that can also be thrown or deployed to different NRENs across the Ubuntu Net Alliance and even across Africa. So this particular product has been able to help us in very many fronts. One, it doesn't use electricity, it has batteries, and then it has also a solar panel. That means that if you're in areas where power is a bit is erratic, you don't have to worry. The service is able to continue working. And then also, for those that feel like they have wires, they don't need wires running up and down, this product is very important or good for them. And then also, most importantly, it's high density, meaning that it can be in position to at least have about 500 users at a time, and can also be able to shoot longer distances of up to 350 meters with clear line of sight. So it's just a bit of illustration of how the product looks like. And it's one of the revolutionizing products that we have been able to introduce, especially to our members. Uganda is blessed with the sun, and so most members actually felt like this was something that solved a lot of the product challenges that they were facing. Okay, now going down to some of the strategies that we have been able to use to try and sell these particular products that we have just discussed. We realize that most times members within the community do not know some of the product or services we have. And so as part of the business development team, one of the key things that we do is personal selling. Why personal selling? Personal selling helps you to increase on your conversion rate, because you don't have to speak to the person on phone and leave it at that. When you're able to meet the person, in the prospective member, you're able to share more in detail. As a result, you stronger relationship, and can be in position to get the person to buy more of your products or services. You're also able to cross-sell. For example, if the person is interested in has only been consuming internet as a service, you're able to be in position to provide him maybe with the different EduRoam packages that we have, or even the solar-powered access points that we have. You're also able to get immediate feedback from the member, and also you give them personalized attention, so that they feel more concerned that the NREN actually is concerned, is aware about the needs that we have, and are in position to respond to them with the different services or products that they offer. Corporate social responsibility is also one key thing that we have done as RENU. If you looked at the illustration there, that was one of the school seminars. We realized that the schools, especially towards the final national examinations, are always involved in crisscrossing, moving from one institution to the other, to try and maybe get extra knowledge from the perspective of different people. But then we felt that this is something that we can actually leverage on. And so we support most of the schools using our connectivity, so that they don't have to move from one institution to another, but they can be in position to collaborate, share notes, while still remaining at the institutions that they are. So one of the ways we do, especially for member institutions, we're able to boost their bandwidth, so that the connection between the institutions is not stopped. Also, as part of social corporate responsibility, we're able to do direct engineering assistance. We're also able to do equipment donation to some of these. And also, we're being very, very active, especially in the graduation ceremonies. Maybe someone may be asking, why all this? All this is able to galvanize the relationships we have with our members. Like I mentioned earlier, that the commercial parties are also looking at these members for commercial purposes. But for us as a community, we feel that we could be in position to do extra to see that the members are able to enjoy and benefit more. So exhibitions, very critical for us as well. We've been able to run through them through the course of the years. In this particular picture, as you can see, this was just a demonstration of the solar-powered access point to one of the potential members that could be able to join. But also under the exhibitions, most times we're able to, we participate in targeted audience. Therefore, our services or products are mostly appreciated in there. We also, again, have direct interaction with the members. We're also able to demonstrate the different products that we offer. Okay, then we'll go into how we have been able to leverage the different digital platforms to grow our numbers, to strengthen our stay among our members and keep the engagement ongoing. This just shows a bit of illustration of how we have been able to grow the numbers over the years from 2021 to 2023 through different platforms, that is X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Again, this just shows you a bit of how we have been able to grow now the new social media followers we have got from 2021 and the current total followers that we have at present. This was also through the website. And one of the key ways we've been able to do this is to create high quality content. By creating this, it means that it brings a bit of visual appeal. It's value driven because we're able to share tips on how our members are able to maybe utilize a particular product, anything research or education related. And so the numbers have been able to, as demonstrated, the numbers have been able to grow. Also, we do a lot of engagement. With the engaging, we're able to respond to the queries that our members are able to share. We host a lot of question and answer sessions so that we are able to disseminate more knowledge or information among our members. Well, all this has happened without challenges, certainly. And one of the key challenges is that some of our members do not yet appreciate the work of an NREN and how it's able to solve some of the challenges that they're facing. And because of that, most of our members, or existing members, also try to limit budgets for services or the products that we're able to provide to them. And certainly, competition mostly from the different commercial service providers that are also providing similar products that we have. And because of the competition, the pricing war has been one of the key challenges we're facing as an NREN. Having said that, then go without saying that we also have opportunities that we can be able to leverage on. And one of them is, like I mentioned earlier, is that we're able to drive through partnerships, and especially with the different service providers that we have, or the commercial service providers. We feel like the best way to be able to work with them is actually just to partner with them. By partnering with them, it means that the competition is actually lessened, rather the research and education community is one that is able to gain more from it. Also, we have a lot of opportunity to do a bit of, to bring in more solutions. Like, for example, the COVID time actually made us realize that there was need to get some of the products to the members wherever they are. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're able to change the challenge into an opportunity. And then we've also we have an opportunity also to grow relationships with other stakeholders, like the regulator. And then, like I mentioned earlier, EduRoam is still yet to grow within RENU, and we feel it's a very big opportunity. We are glad that the numbers are going up, meaning that the different members are able to appreciate the service, and certainly the different products and services. Over the years, connectivity was the initial service, but over the years, we're able to grow the product. It's just a bit of an illustration of the team at RENU that is able to deliver and support and the research and education community in Uganda. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. Asante sana.